Hello, and welcome to Paddling Places, Florida.
I'm Mr. D.
Kayaking wildlife photography. Let's get this thing in the water. Hello, and welcome to Paddling Places, Florida. I'm your host, Mr. D. Hey, today we're going to do a little something different. We're out here at the Crooked River. I think it's called the Plata something, Pacahaka something. I don't know what the heck it is. But anyway, we're out here today, and what I wanted to do, I get a lot of calls and questions about paddling techniques and all this kind of stuff. Now understand, I do recreational flat water only. So I'm going to run through a bunch of basics today to give you an idea on how to paddle, how to hold your paddle, the different styles of the high end and versus the low profile paddling, what it means, the traditional using the torso dig and the arm and shoulder stuff, which is what I use all the time. I'm doing a lot of paddling out here, and I try to do that torso where you're digging in and using your torso to pull it around like that. And it's very difficult for me for some reason. I don't know, I don't get comfortable with it, but I enjoy my shoulder and arm paddle system, and you're going to see that out on the water. So the first thing I want to do is talk about paddle positioning. Paddle positioning is arms are at approximately shoulder length like that, and this is where you want to be. Now this thing hanging down here is a tether. I recommend you have one of these. You clip it onto your kayak, because if the unfortunate happens, your paddle's gone down the river, you're in trouble out there. Also, paddle length. Your paddle length depends on your height and the beam size. Now this particular craft right here has a 34-inch beam. So it recommends, and I'm 5'5" tall, so it recommends that I have a 230 to 240 paddle. Now this particular paddle is a 230 to 240 adjustable. And it also has an adjustable furrow where I can set the blade angle for when I'm out doing my thing. So one of the things you want to do, and this I see this a lot for new beginners, you'll see a paddle has a spoon. You can see this spoon right here. Now a lot of beginners get this backwards, and they paddle using the back end of the spoon like this, and that don't work. You're losing a lot of velocity, and the water's trailing off. So when you paddle, make sure your spoon is facing towards you, and then based on the shape of your blade, you can see how the blade goes up, and like this end goes down and into the water as you pull. Okay, now I use what they call a push-pull system. As I'm pulling with this arm, I'm pushing with this hand. So I do the same thing. So I'm doing a push-pull system. Gives me a lot of power. It doesn't fatigue me. And again, you know, I don't do the traditional torso thing where you dig and turn, and I don't like doing that. I enjoy doing it this way, and I've paddled 12 miles using the shoulder arm push-pull system. It works really great. So what we're going to do now is kind of get ready, get out on the water, mount all the cameras up. Make sure you have your PFD with you. This is a must. You got to have a PFD, guys, and it's a state law anyway. But it's really smart. Now, we're in Florida. There's gators out here. There's gators everywhere. They're in your swimming pool. So when you're out here, be cognizant. You're in their home. This is not your lake. This is their lake or river or whatever it is. They own it. You're just visiting. Keep that in mind. Give them respect. They'll give you respect, and you won't have any problems at all. So, hey, we'll be back in just a bit. All right, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a few ways on the basic paddling techniques. Now, I know that most of you, like myself, when we first started, did not go to any kind of instructional thing. We went to YouTube and watched everybody do that. And I learned a lot that way. But after paddling for years, I had to figure out better ways to give me better long distance in paddling, because I'm up there in years now. So one of the things I learned was the standard traditional paddling system, and basically you hold your hands out like this. You kind of lock your elbows, and then you basically dig in, turn your torso, dig in, turn your torso, dig in like this. Okay, and that's the traditional way. to paddle. They say to keep your elbows locked when you're doing this. I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't like this paddling system. I've done it many, many times, and I just can't get myself all excited about it. What I use is a standard low profile, and low profile, let's talk about that real quick. High profile, low profile paddling. High profile paddling is like this. You're coming in, and you can see the paddles are way up there. All right, low profile is like this. Now, what that does is everything's kind of more relaxed. And again, this is for flat water, purely recreational paddling. Now, again, you heard me talk about the push-pull paddle system. And this is real easy to do. And I'll tell you what, you won't get fatigued. I use it on places where I'm going upstream and the current's really strong. The push-pull works really good. And basically, I just do my standard paddling where I enter the water with using, I know, against the rules, but arms and shoulders, okay? But the difference is when I go in, I push with this hand and pull with this hand. So basically, it's just like this, and I can get some, and all I'm doing is pushing. You can see my hand go up. That means I'm pushing against that paddle, and it will flat move me right along, as you could tell. So, again, this is very basic stuff. It's real simple to do this. Now, I see a lot of people that go out here and do paddling and stuff like that really don't have a clue. So that's what generated my idea to come out here and just show you some down-to-earth basic techniques. And this is definitely down-to-earth. I paddle probably 4 to 5 times a week when it's cool here in Florida. The 3 months I shut down, July, August, September. Right here, we're about the middle of October right now, and it's still a little pretty warm. So our summer's kind of lasting longer than I wanted it to. But anyway, we talked about the dihedral, or the spoon, or the ends of the paddle, which is this. You can see the spoon, real, you can definitely see it. Right here's the spoon. Make sure that's pointed towards you. I see a lot of brand new paddlers do it where this section, the back of the paddle is facing them. Okay, what I'm going to do is show you what I've seen a lot. You see the paddle, the spoon of the paddle here is facing away from me, and I see people paddling like this. Now, will it work? Yes, but you're losing a lot of your energy and power and thrust on the paddle by doing that. So make sure that the spoon is facing you when you go in. Now, depending on what you use, if you use the traditional style and paddling style, but you can see how easily the push-pull, and that's what I use all the time, is my push-pull system. And it really, really works well. One of the things I see a lot of out there is posture. The one thing you want to do, I see a lot of people laying back and trying to paddle. Now, that's great if the beach is like 30 feet away and you're just paddling within that area. But if you're doing any long distance stuff, 8, 10 miles, 12 miles, you're going to be wore out. Keep your posture upright. Depending on how far you're paddling, it's a lumbar seat would be recommended. Now, I have a lumbar seat in this inflatable. Now, this inflatable is a Advanced Elements Air Kayaks AE 1044 DSXL. It's brand new to my fleet, and I'm loving it. It's a great craft. And when you apply the basic techniques, this craft will just cut right through the water with no problems whatsoever. The next thing we're going to talk about is turning your craft. It's a real simple process. Now, if you want to turn, for instance, you want to turn right, and It's a real simple process, is to lay your paddle right here and then just put it in the water. Now you will lose momentum. So, and to finish your turn, as you can see, I'm pushing and pulling, pushing and turning, and you can see I'm turning the craft in a 360-degree circle, just like that. Now you will lose a lot of momentum, but it's easy to regain it as you paddle on. So if you want to stay in place, it's called a flutter, I guess it's called. I don't know what the technical name is. Maybe I'm enunciating it incorrectly, but I'm going to come up here and turn the boat sideways, and then I'm going to kind of keep it in place as best I can. And it's kind of a unique process. Now I want to keep the boat, I'm turning to the left. Now I want to keep it where I'm at. You can see I'm just doing a very slight flutter. And that'll keep me, let me get where I want to go. And you can see, it doesn't take a lot of effort, but it'll keep me where I want to be. And then when you're ready to go, you just pull on. So that's a very simple system to keep you in place if you're waiting for some of your friends to come down. And this is the basics of flat water kayaking. You know, warnings, very simple. If you're going to be on a big lake, you want to check your weather. You want to check the winds. The winds can play havoc with you out there. And if there's any lightning storms or anything in the forecast, call it off that day. You don't want to be a target out there. If you're in Florida waters, like I said, there's gators everywhere. I mean, they're even in your swimming pools once in a while. They'll crawl up in there and go swimming in your pool. But this is their home. You're just visiting. Now, I am not no tree hugger, but I'm going to tell you what. I always keep an eye on the condition of the area that I'm in. And if I see something that's messed up, trash thrown, beer bottles floating in the water, beer cans, stuff like that, you know, I will pick them up, put them in my craft, and when I get to the launch site, I'll deposit that. You know, to keep our lakes and streams and channels and all that stuff beautiful, takes everybody's involvement. There is a percentage out there that don't care. I'll see a guy in a no-wake zone come flying by in this boat, laughing, partying, loud music. Now, I don't care. You can party, have a great time. But if you're out there and there's kayakers out there and you're in a no-wake zone, that's what that means. I mean, you could capsize someone. There may be kids in that kayak or canoe or anything like that, and you might be responsible for some very disastrous results. Okay, that's about it, guys. We're going to wrap this thing up. It's been fun out here today. Never done one of these instructional videos before, so all you nasty trolls and mean people, don't kill me. This is my first time doing an instructional video, and I'm trying to keep it down to earth for everybody. Boy, it's beautiful right here. Now you can see how beautiful it is here, and I want you guys to see what I see. I mean, look at this. And I'm actually using those techniques I was talking about before of turning the boat. Now I'm fluttering or staying in place. I don't know what they call that process or that technique, but I'm just doing that to stay in place. All right, now I want to turn the boat the other direction. And all I'm doing is paddling with one paddle and then getting my momentum back and then heading back out. But look at this. I mean, it's beautiful out here. So, okay, guys, hey, kind of wraps it up here. Again, this is a purely down-to-earth, basic kayaking, flat water instructional video. Recap real quick, we talked to you about how to hold your paddle shoulders apart, how to do a high-angle paddle versus a low-angle paddle, the traditional paddle of moving the torso and getting it that way, letting your torso and the rest of you, so you don't fatigue yourself. And then the standard, what you see a lot of is the arm and shoulders paddle. And then what I try to share is the push-pull. I'm pushing and pulling at the same time. And it really doesn't tire you out because you are, and you can see my torso still is moving a little bit. But the full-blown traditional paddle, I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. The other thing we talked about is how to turn the craft, where when you want to turn it, you drop the blade. If you want to go left, you drop the blade right off the end of the boat. And if you want to go right, now if you want to do a 360-degree turn, you go here and then push with this one, here, push with this one, pull with this one, push with that one, and you can see there I've completed a 360-degree turn. And we're heading back down right now. Well, we want to thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. I tried to keep it as really basic as I possibly can. There's more to it out there. I mean, there's the guy that do these class 3, class 4, 5 rapids and get crazy stuff out there. This is nothing compared to that. This is just flat water, recreational paddling, and the basics on what you need to do to get yourself out there and start having a lot of fun. So, we'll see you on the next one. Then we'll key in with the big... Hi guys, hello and welcome to Paddling Places. So Paddling Places, Florida, I missed you.